It's a crucial stretch for teams in the PBA Philippine Cup as we move closer to the playoffs. Now we're going to take a look at where teams stand as the elimination round nears its home stretch. On your screen so far, you can see the TNT Tropang Giga leading the pack here with 8 wins and just a single loss. Then the Meralco Bolts follow them at number 2 with 5 wins and 2 losses. The Magnolia Hotshots sit at 3rd place with 6 and 3. San Miguel is at number 4 with 5 wins and 3 losses. Then Rain or Shine rounds out the top 5 with 6 and 4. Northport comes in 6 with 4 wins and 3 losses. The NLEX, Road Warriors, and Phoenix, they share identical 4 and 5 records to complete the top 8. That means if the quarterfinals were to start today, the reigning champs, Barangay Ginebra, will be out of contention because they're currently at 9th with just 3 wins and 5 defeats. Terra Firma and Alaska are also struggling here, and the Blackwater Bossing have yet to win a game after losing 9 straight. And now joining us for an all-out breakdown of the last week of games in the PBA semi-bubble is none other than basketball analyst Juan Banal. Brother, good morning. Welcome back to Sports Desk, Juan.
Hey, Andre. Thanks for having me again today. Good morning, everyone.
As always, great to have you here on Sports Desk. Juan, you just saw the standings here. Let's get to it. One of the biggest stories in the PBA the past week is TNT. I know we talked about how invincible it seemed that TNT was, but they suffered their first loss at the hands of the San Miguel Beermen last Wednesday, and it was even, kumbaga, tambakan pa blowout fashion. What happened there for TNT? Was it inevitable? Kumbaga, was it bound to happen, Juan? May nakita ka bang weaknesses nila which other teams should take note of and capitalize?
We had a conversation. I remember you asking me last week, what will this week look like after just 3 games? The TNT will have to go through a very tough road ahead. And I said it would be amazing if they come out unscathed. And then on the first go of that week, they already immediately lost. And this has a lot to do also with not just how TNT played, but how San Miguel played. And I think they were very fluid in that game. Both teams were shooting horribly. San Miguel shot 26% from the outside. TNT shot 23% from the outside, their 3-point range. But I think it was more of the secondary defense that helped defense. I think TNT had a hard time stopping the one-on-one attacks of more of the isolation plays that San Miguel had. Terrence Romeo was on a tear. Mota Tua played well. And so SMB exploited that, started attacking the shaded area, and they didn't get much help from the rest of the guys of TNT.
Well, TNT did bounce back one with 2 straight wins naman. Bumawi naman sila to cap off another tough week. Tinalo nilang NLEX pagkatapos nila matalo San Miguel. Then, parang binawian yata nila kasi tinambakan nila ang Ginebra. And one of the key factors here, the rookie, Mikey Williams, living up to the hype here. We all knew, kumbaga nakikita natin kung ano yung kaya ni Mikey. Di ba nakikita natin highlights niya sa YouTube. But how did he look to you? Do you think he's the real deal? And finally, he has adjusted to the games the way PBA, the PBA games are?
Yeah, I would say you hit the nail on the head when you said that he's adjusted. And I think we have to credit Jason Castro. I know people mention him less nowadays because of the emergence of these guys, but I think Jason Castro has a lot to do with that because he's been having lesser input or output in terms of scoring, and it's similar to the way I see it. The way TNT is behaving right now, especially with R.R. Pogoy, also one of those leading scorers. I think you credit also Larry Fonacher for that happening when he kind of paved the way and he ushered in R.R. Pogoy. I think the same way that Jason Castro is ushering Williams when it comes to the getting his top form and top shape and really being able to gel with the team. I mean, he's averaging 17.9 points, 41 from the field goal percentage, 4 rebounds and 3 assists. He is a scorer. It's all a matter of giving him the confidence in the role that he should play within the team.
You're right. And I'm going to give you back the compliment. You did hit it the nail on the head because they're giving Mikey Williams all the confidence that he can get right now in TNT. And he's just fitting in nicely with that system with Coach Chot Reyes. Nabanggit nga natin kanina naman yung Ginebra. Grabe, struggle sila this week. They lost 2 of their 3 games. Tapos these 2 losses came against playoff contenders pa, Juan. Not a good sign for the defending champs here, who are now actually at 9th in the team standings with a 3-5 record na nabanggit ko. If it started nga today, the playoffs, tanggal itong Ginebra. What happened to the Gin Kings and how do they turn things around, especially na, malapit na tayo dun sa playoffs?
I've been reading articles about it, people sharing their insights and thoughts and opinions about what's happening to Ginebra. Some people are saying, oh, the triangle offense, it's irrelevant. The players don't fit the triangle offense. But I would say Coach Tim isn't a purist anymore for quite some time now. If he stuck to the triangle offense, and the likes of Stanley Pringle wouldn't shine so much.
That's
but
right.
He did, and they've won championships already. And a championship with Stanley Pringle. And so he's not really a purist, so you can't really fault the triangle offense or the kind of players that are in the lineup right now that would match the triangle offense. In my opinion, I think that it's playing 8 to 9 players as part of your solid rotation might be a key factor or a contributory to how Ginebra is failing to really finish a game and struggling to get back, especially if they're down by huge margin, because you need fresh legs to do that. If natatambakan ka kasi, you need more guys and younger guys to kind of be the spark. And if you're playing 8 to 9 players every single game and you're always coming from a deficit, then that's going to eventually take a toll on you. And, with all due respect to L.A. Tenorio, he is our Iron Man, but he's not getting any younger, and he needs people to support him in that aspect. So you would be looking at other guys stepping up. 8 to 9 players in this high level, with you're playing against teams that have deeper benches at a high caliber, that's going to be tough for Ginebra.
Who do you think? Who needs to step up? They have a lot of weapons, but in your opinion, you did mention LA needing more help. But para sa'yo, sino yung kumbaga kulang pa, hindi mo pa nakikita na mag-step up pero kailangan na kailangan sa Ginebra?
We saw Arvin Tolentino play a huge role in the previous conference, but right now we're seeing lesser minutes of him on the floor. But I think generally it's not one specific guy, but the bench in general. The rookies have to earn the trust of Coach Tim and have to have more playing time on the floor because they need youth, they need relievers to make sure that to have the veterans play better quality minutes in the end. You kind of have to have those quality minutes in between. And you can see teams that are performing well in the standing are those that have incorporated the rookies quite well within their rotation. So, we were talking about a very rich draft pool prior to this conference or season, and we're just waiting for them to all take shape and form. And Ginebra has not really included the rookies that much in that rotation. You've got cases like Rain or Shine, who's doing so well with the rookies. So I think that's a major factor that should be considered to make sure that guys like L.A. Tenorio will still have fresh legs at the end of the game.
Well, one another team that's struggling, the NLEX Road Warriors, tatlong sunod-sunod na talo para kay Coach Yeng Giao and NLEX. Anong nangyari, Juan? Bakit biglang, kumbaga, nag-unravel itong NLEX especially? Di ba? Since the week before, I remember talking about it.
All praises ka pa. All praises pa tayong dalawa about what's happening in this.
Parang kasalanan nga natin, jinx natin because they were actually on a 3-game win streak.
Yeah, law of averages siguro, Andre. Eventually, di ba? They had a 3-string wins and then biglang 3 consecutive losses. But, hindi rin naman joke yung teams na nakalaban nila. They played against Magnolia, they play against TNT. So these teams are really looking for a win. And then, they played against Northport, who's also streaking hot so far here in this bubble. So I think we talked about this last week, Andre, when we said collectively as a team, they stepped up. They showed maturity by filling in the shoes that Kiefer Ravena left. But now that they've overcome that, it takes them to the next level in this conference, wherein they need a leader, a specific pinpoint person that can really turn this around, because this could either go really bad for them and continue to lose and continue to skid, or they can bounce back. And for that to happen, you need to have a designated leader, somebody who would know when to say that this is when we turn it around, this is when we start stepping up, just bring that team. Because you can't really point a figure and say, who is it really at this point for NLEX? Is it JR Kenyahan? Is it Jericho Cruz? Is it Kevin Alas? You can't point one person that does that. And we've spoken about other teams that have that one person that is saying, I'm taking that leadership mantle and driving this whole team.
Good observation there. And I think that, kumbaga, dun sana papasok yung leadership ng isang, isang Kiefer Ravena na tipong, okay, dito tayo tatama yung ship. But Coach Yang Yao's there. I'm sure he will figure things out. Don't go anywhere, Juan. Stay where you are. Our breakdown of the playoff race in the PBA Philippine Cup will continue after this short break. And later, we take a look at the impressive run of the Northport Batang Pier since the bubble restart. Plus, we've got this man, Northport super rookie, human pogo stick, Jamie Malonzo, joining us live. And we still have with us today basketball analyst Juan Banal. Juan and I have been talking about the PBA, the last week of games in the PBA. And Juan, the Northport Batang Pier, a perfect 3 out of 3 in their first week in the semi-bubble. And that's with Coach Bonnie Tan at the helm here. Coach Bonnie is, of course, a champion coach himself, having steered the Letran Knights to an NCAA title. Pero syempre, dito sa Northport, officially, he is the team manager. Coach Pido Harencio pa rin ang official head coach. Pero wala si Coach Pido ngayon. So your thoughts on Northport, Juan? How the Batang Pier have managed to go on this run. Perfect, 3 of 3. Even without Coach Pido calling the shots.
It was interesting because prior to this conference, we could hear and see articles about Coach Pido Harencio being excited coming into this conference. And some were saying, is it just because of Greg Slaughter? Is it enough to keep him and get him excited? But if you really look at the Northport Batang Pier team right now, they've got a solid core in the likes of Taha, Elorde, Sean Anthony, Ferrer, and then you've got a new addition in the likes of Onubere, who's coming out of his shell. But then you have major additions like Jamie Malonzo, Robert Bolick, and Greg Slaughter. These are 3 solid guys who can carry a team. These are superstars in their collegiate level. And now that they have come together simultaneously, bringing that that X factor to Northport, to an existing solid core already, I think that just they could be the dark horse in this conference. And then you've got Sean Anthony embracing the role of being the leader of the team, directing them, taking on his shoulders this very young lineup. But not to mention, they also have help from the bench. We haven't spoken about guys like Balanza, Subido, Jonathan Gray, and Doliges. And so it's a young team, but they have the pieces, and we now understand why Coach Pido Harencio was very excited. And even if he's not on the bench, I think that spills over to the entire disposition of the lineup and the team in general.
Well, Juan, since we're talking about the Northport Batang Pier, why don't we bring in one of their new guns, new jumping guys, and joining us now to go all out on Northport's run so far is that man you can see on your right, super rookie, Jamie Malonzo. Jamie, welcome back to Sports Desk, and thank you for obliging us with the interview, sir.
Andre, Juan, thank you guys for having me. Good morning, everybody.
It's always great to have you, and we've been wanting to have you here on Sports Desk. Jamie, what a first week for you guys in the semi-bubble, and we were talking about Juan and I. What were the keys here for you guys, especially without Coach Pido Harencio? You guys are 3 of 3 so far.
Without Coach, it's been we just really had the biggest thing for us was understanding our system. Coach Pido had it in place. He used to yell at us every day in practice of understanding what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
So for us, just understanding that, we went out there and just followed the system that was in place for us.
Juan, you got a question for Jamie?
Yeah, Jamie, you're averaging 12.4 points a game, 9.3 rebounds, and 2 assists, and that's going hand in hand with Robert with 18.7 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 6.3 assists. You guys are scary on the open floor. How much of those dunks are adding to your confidence, generally? Because we know that's something that's a basic expectation from you, having to slam the ball. But generally, coming into form with this team, this very young team, and you being a rookie, how does that add up to your confidence?
Oh man, it's pretty good. I started out the game with a dunk, and I think that really had it going for what everyone saw. And just going out there playing my game stress free. That just settling in was the biggest thing for me, and I've just been able to excel at that.
You know what, Jamie, Juan, we've seen these highlights that we're flashing, and it just never gets, I never get tired. It never gets old just watching these highlights. Like I'm watching an NBA game, to be honest.
And people were counting his dunks. They're not counting his outside shots, not counting how many points he's made. People are counting his dunks because that's how many dunks he has in a game.
Jamie, do you, Robert, do you guys talk about that? Like what Juan said, one dunk will get you going. We know what you can bring to the table, especially in the UAP. But do you guys talk about your dunks and like when you're on the open floor, especially that last one, that alley-oop, that lob, like just throw it up in the sky, I'll get it.
Oh man, I know Robert for sure got me. Whenever he sees me running, he's gonna throw it up. He said. I think we had maybe a couple mislaps, and he's always like, "Man, I'm not used to playing with someone above the rim, but I got you. I'm gonna throw it up." So. Yeah, man, we talk about it all the time.
How about those dunks that, there's the lob from Robert, but how about the one off the bounce? Was it like spontaneous?
That's just you being a show-off. that's just
showing off a little bit.
Yeah,
that one just came natural, honestly. I had no idea I was going to do that one. And it's just, just some stuff you practice on after practice. You go get bouncy, and that's what happened.
So far, Jamie, how do you assess your performance? Dunks aside, all in all.
I'll say I've been doing exceptional. I try not to think of myself as a rookie, and I try and go out there. I could always say I could do more. So, I'm out there competing with Mikey for rookie of the year. So, I gotta hold my own, and it's been a hell of a race so far.
Jamie, do you want to be part of a triple overtime game? I just imagining it is tiring already.
I don't know about that one. Probably not in the bubble. We're already tired as is.
Well, Go ahead, Juan. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think having Sean Anthony on the team would help a lot because that guy never quits. So having him as the leader in a triple overtime, I think that's gonna rub off all of you guys.
Well,
for sure.
Jamie, you mentioned the bubble. This is your first time playing inside the PBA bubble. It is a semi-bubble, but how do you find it so far? And how does it affect, your overall mental health and physically and everything? Like, especially you getting to be closer with your teammates there.
We've definitely been bonding, just living within these quarters, and it's been fun for the most part, Pero we get tired if we're having maybe 3 games in a week, but hey, as long as we're playing, I think we all just have fun and we enjoy it.
Yeah, and it seems like it that you guys are enjoying with your teammates. You know what? You guys, you're a rookie. You got some new additions that Juan mentioned. Juan, you want to ask anything? Because I'm going to ask my last question here.
Yeah, no, I'll probably just ask, what do you think is, what is it that you guys think that you still need to work on just to get you to the playoffs and really perform well in the playoffs? Is there like a missing piece or something that you still want to, perfect or, just work on as you try to make your run for the playoffs?
Definitely, we're doing pretty well right now. And I feel like we could always just do better, We didn't have Greg Slaughter last game, so of course having him and just being able to fit everybody into the system, I think that's the biggest part for us, and just keep going forward, keep progressing.
Jamie, thank you for being part of the show. But before I let you go, a lot of your peers, our batchmates, have opted to play in Japan. 8 Filipinos already there. Kobe, 30, the Gomez de Leaño brothers, players that you actually played with in the UAAP. Now, realistically, if given an offer, would you go there too? Play for the Japan B-League?
If the opportunity presented itself, I'd definitely consider, And I think one of the biggest things for me ever was just, representing the Philippines internationally. I felt like that was one of the best experiences ever. So hopefully one day, maybe.
But for now, your focus is on Northport, 3 for 3. Keep on dunking, my friend, and thank you again for joining Juan I here on Sports Desk. Thank you, Jamie. The best of luck. Keep on dunking, man.
Hey, I will. Thank you, Andre. Thank you, Juan, for having me.
We're still thinking of a moniker for that guy. Again, we just had Jamie Malonzo of the Northport Batang Pierre. Ikaw, Juan, diyan ka lang. Di ka pa tapos. Stay where you are. We've still got a lot to talk about after this break. You're still tuned in to Sports Desk, only here on CNN Philippines, where we go all out for the day's top sports stories. Stay tuned. And we still have with us today basketball analyst Juan Banal. And Juan and I have been talking about the PBA, the last week of games in the PBA. Also, we had Jamie Malonzo earlier on the show. Juan, let's go back to the PBA, of course, PBA semi-bubble. One team that managed to bounce back this week, itong San Miguel Beermen. former 5-time PBA champs, Philippine Cup champs, 2 wins out of 3 games, and that loss was even a close one. Very close yun against Rain or Shine. Natalo sila on that Rain ng Batak game winner. But overall, how good did the Bearmen look this week? Kasi yung mga tinalo nga nila, like I mentioned kanina, yung TNT tapos Ginebra.
This is the Beerman that everyone feared coming into this conference.
Fear the beer,
and they still have Alex Cabagnot sitting out, but Terrence has taken on the full mantle of being the main source of, or the initial source of offense. And that allows Junmar to fully recuperate. Before everyone benefited in the team with Junmar's presence on the floor. But imagine having to defend a team that can be versatile as going on in the post to Junmar or potentially outside to Terrence Romeo. And then you've got gunslingers like Marshall Lassiter and Arwin Santos and Chris Ross. And just you've got CJ Perez and Mo Tautua, and the list can go on and on and on. And again, we're going back to what everyone was fearing, and this is the San Miguel Beermen that they were afraid of.
How about Rain or Shine, though? Not only did they upset San Miguel, but they also got a win over Magnolia last Friday. That's 2 wins out of 3 games this week, and very impressive. But to you, Juan, how impressive have they been to you, especially given itong youth movement? I heard you kanina, you mentioned the rookies of Rain or Shine and being incorporated seamlessly to that system. Do you think Rain or Shine is the dark horse of this tournament?
They could be. There's just looking at the top 8 right now, and you're going to be able to say that, this team could be a dark horse, this could be a dark horse team. But I'm looking at Rain or Shine's lineup. They were one of the teams that had a lot of picks during the draft, and they really benefited from the last draft. But people keep talking about super rookies like Santillan and Asischo and Carapot. But if you really look at it, these guys are not really rookies. They've played in other tournaments before they enter the PBA, ripe rookies. You can feel their composure on the court, and you can definitely give them heavy minutes, and they will produce the numbers for you. So, being a young team, people might have the mistake, or teams might have the mistake of underestimating them, but they can definitely break a lot of hearts.
Nasa home stretch na tayo of the elimination round 1, and pretty soon, yung teams will be claiming their spots in the quarterfinals. Makikita na natin talaga yung clear picture. As we take a look at the team standings again right now, marami pang pwedeng magbago dito eh. Marami pang pwedeng mag-shuffle di ba, Juan? Pero ikaw, ano yung mga potential matchups or scenarios na inaabangan mo, nakikita mo dito as we take a look at the team standings? Saan yung mga pwede pang magbago, tingin mo?
I mean, with the way the games are being played, and just, because of games being postponed, it kind of throws off teams that were normally seeing, getting their momentum and then making their way up the ranking. But with just so much uncertainty, I would say that it's interesting because the playoffs might end up having strong teams on paper matching up against each other in the first round. Or you've got underdogs matching up against strong teams on paper and eventually knocking them out because of the different variables and factors that people can't seem to predict. So, it's going to be a colorful playoffs. I really expect people to watch and be excited and be on the edge of their seats, trying to figure out how things are all going to pan out and who will end up on top.
Juan, maraming salamat. Nag-enjoy ako in this episode talking about the run-up to the playoffs and, of course, having that human dunk guy, Jamie Malonzo. Isip ka ng moniker pa rin na. Maraming salamat, Juan. Ingat ka.
We'll see.
Yeah. We'll talk to you again.
Thank you.
We just had basketball analyst Juan Banal